I fear that we're going to affect the word of it. And I will get you,
Okay, and what I want to say is that I understand where the Open Meeting Act has now come into play, because what they're saying is that she abruptly adjourned the meeting. And that is, I think, where this brings the tie-in together. So this is the violation, that they're saying that she abruptly adjourned the meeting when there were options.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't take the options available to her, and so they're calling that a violation, and therefore this is the reason why they want to admonish her.
That's not what they said. They didn't want to punish her.
What?
You talked to them, who wanted to punish her?
The ethics panel said that she should be admonished. Or,
Not by written statement.
correct.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The admonishment by council is kind of first step of four. And what we've got here is someone that's served as a mayor for 2 years. And she's in her third term in public office. The step one of four possibilities, in my opinion, with someone that should have that much public knowledge of open public meetings, by putting the slap on her is not enough.
Mr. Case, and then I think that's
Another clarification, please. It seems like there's 3 different documents that we seem to be referring to very loosely. One is the current Policy and Procedure Act that was in place at the time that this all took place. Council Rules of Procedure. And then there's the state law, which is the Open Public Meetings Act. And then potentially Robert's Rules of Order, which is referred to, or was referred to in our council procedures at the time in the event of questions and additional direction that we would resort to using Robert rules. And I haven't seen any place in the Open Public Meetings Act, the state act, that says she did anything wrong. She might have missed part of the procedure that was in place by not going through what is being contested as a potential closing of the meeting in not the suggested manner. So is this anything to do with the state law Open Public Meetings Act for this particular potential accusation?
So Dan, if you look at I-6, number F and G, they refer to that Washington Open Public Meetings Act. And so those two, F and G, kind of tie it to the complaint.
Okay, I see what that is now. That's still not a clear issue. Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
I don't think, at least I'm not looking to have her criminally prosecuted here. A recommendation is a suggestion or proposal as to the course of action, especially one put forward by an authoritative body. It is a suggestion or a proposal. I'm putting forward my suggestion that it's not sufficient. I agree with Lee. This is her third term. Someone new on the council would hope to look to somebody with that kind of experience to help guide them forward. And that was done that night. It guided me to decide that that was definitely the way not to do it. And for that reason, admonition is just, it's not, I won't sign on for that.
So what would you prefer?
She needs to step down as deputy mayor. She was the leader of this group at that time. And in my recommendation, that is not the way a leader acts. Not somebody with her experience.
Mr. Constance, you have another?
No, you didn't, but I'm happy to say I don't think this council is going to arrive at any decision. It seems like there's too many people that aren't moving towards a consensus on this issue.
I wonder whether, I do understand that we've got two votes who want more than admonition. And I don't know what the other four votes, but I know I would be okay with just admonition. And I don't know what everybody else feels about that.
Mr. Well, we place good faith and trust into this ethics hearing number one. They heard evidence and testimony and discussed amongst themselves. I think for the most part, much of what we discussed here. I think that, am I right in thinking that there was a film, there was a recorded this meeting that was presented to them, that they witnessed it, in addition to any testimony, they actually had the opportunity to witness the meeting, is that correct? And I was not here, right? So, those of you who attended that ethics meeting, panel, were they provided a chance to see what happened next week?
Yes,
Yeah, I heard yes.
and the complaint.
They had, I sat through most all the meetings, and they had the opportunity to watch video. Most of it was filmed right over where Peter's sitting now, and it showed, partial viewpoints of the room. It was not, any one video was, in my opinion, close to being complete.
So, if that be true, then we every verbatim, everything out of what I heard, the actual recommendation, right? Am I right in thinking that if they felt there was any, their interpretation of the meeting was that sufficient to the need, an admonishment was appropriate?
Yes.
Is that fair? They could have given us any one of the other choices, I suppose. They chose not to do that. I read to you, some definitions of admonishment to relationary. I guess, I'm not sure that we need, I don't much more that we can discuss tonight, but haven't already done so.
So I will make a motion to recommend that we orally admonish Deputy Mayor King. Guess there's no second. I guess we may not be going anywhere with this.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Meredith, with your removal, I feel drawn to that, but I don't think that that will come out of this council action tonight. I actually think a censure is what's appropriate in this case. And just for the audience that are here, I'm gonna read a censure, what that's about. That's gonna involve a $500 fine from the state attorney general. A censure shall be a written statement administered to the individual in public during a regular city council meeting. The statement shall be prepared by the city council and signed by the mayor, or if the complaint is against the mayor, the deputy mayor. The action of the city council shall be final and not subject to further review. The censure shall be administered at the time and place set. It shall be given publicly. The individual may appear, but shall not make any statement in support of or in opposition thereto or in mitigation thereof. A censure shall be deemed administered at the time it is scheduled, whether or not the individual appears. The statement shall be included in the minutes of the city council. I will make the motion for censure of Councilman Kidd.
I hear no second. So we are at a,
Yeah,
a deadline here.
Mr. Mayor, I'm very curious to find out what the other council members who haven't spoken much, what would they do? What do they want to do?
Wonder about that.
Okay.
I will start with Mr. Collins here. Mr. Collins, would you have any, what would be your preference tonight?
Well, I
Can we
understand.
gain, I guess I'd like to try to think we could gain some consensus on this matter, but I'm not sure what here. Mr. Collins, what would you like to say?
Well, I understand that, people think that Mayor Kidd, who was responsible for conducting the meeting, acted too abruptly in closing the meeting. That seems something to think about. I attended that meeting. It was a very contentious meeting, and
Councilmember Collins, we're having trouble hearing you up here too. Do you mind speaking in your mic a little more?
sure.
Thank
Is
you.
that better? She was having trouble controlling that meeting, there's no question about it. But I think that the arguments that she violated the Open Public Meeting Act by closing an open public meeting is not correct. I don't think her duties as the deputy mayor presiding over that meeting did allow her to do that, whether she did it too abruptly, didn't use other actions that she could have used effectively, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really judging that. My difficulty is that, and I said this earlier, Councilman, Member Brooke, that, I was somewhat taken back at the end of the meeting that I didn't leave the meeting, and that I was continuing to be in a meeting that had been adjourned, and that I was one of 4 council people, and I actually did think that was a violation of the Open Public Meetings Act. So it's hard for me to feel like I can make a judgment on someone else when I'm more judging on my own behavior.
And I'm sorry to, if I can ask, that since you're not being questioned here, and you're not part of this, are you saying that you actually disagree with the panel's conclusions? Because they're saying that they do believe there was a violation.
Right, I disagree with the panel's conclusion. I agree with Mr. Lohr that, that she exercised the privilege of the chair, and she had every right to adjourn a meeting if she thought the meeting was out of control. I think we have to all ask ourselves, do we think that was the right thing to do, or was there something else that could have been done to try to, restore some calm or whatever to the meeting, but we weren't in that position. And so, I don't agree with that statement in the findings of the ethics panel that was there.
Mr. Gates, do you have so is there some other term here on page I-19? There were other choices that could have been made. Will any others have merit to you? Some other processor?
Well, on the general overall topic, first we're dealing with, an ordinance that was made up many years ago that has been pretty much by all of us seen to be severely flawed, because we all want to go back and revisit it and rewrite it. At the time this took place, it was also construed by multiple attorneys that it was probably unconstitutional. So that's another problem and issue that I have with the whole concept. We very clearly attempted to clear that portion of it up in the subsequent meeting that we all took action and voted on, which is probably a good step in the right direction, but it's just the beginning, I believe. So, and I have to preface this too with saying that in my entire life, this is the first time I've ever personally been charged with an ethical violation of any kind, of anything, anywhere.